So have you heard what your true nationality is according to the Bible?
She said she's a spiritual woman.
You're a spiritual woman?
Yes, sir.
So do you believe in a higher power?
Yes, sir.
You do? So do you believe in the Bible at all?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yes.
Good, good. So I want you to take a look at this sign right here. Just come up close. So we're not going to bite. So it says the 12 tribes of Israel. On the left-hand side is what God called us, and on the right-hand side is what we've been called during slavery. So what would you be? So you have Judah, which are the American blacks, Benjamin, which are West Indian blacks, and Levi, which are the Haitians. So what was your father? Yeah, what was his nationality?
My father died when I was young, but as far as my grandfather, he is an Indian.
Okay, so
Indian black, and we from here, like this land, this land.
Right. Okay, so he would probably be from the tribe of Gad. If you look down there, it says Native American Indian. So what we're out here teaching, these people on this sign are the 12 tribes of Israel. Right. So have you heard of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob?
Yes, sir.
So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. And from those 12 sons is what the so-called blacks and Hispanics and the Native Americans descend from. That's right. Now, according to the Bible, that we would be cursed in the latter days. Now, I'm going to show you, according to the Bible, what or how we know that we are the Israelites. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, so are curses a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends on how you look at it, because I feel like all things, you know, like they're meant to be, they placed upon us by God. So if we need to be cursed to be righteous, then that's what it has to be. If you're not doing right.
I like that answer. I like that answer. I mean, because some people say that, well, certain things can be considered a blessing that bad things happen, right? Well, according to God, he cursed a certain people, the Israelites, to get them to change. So, in a sense, it's a good thing, but when you look at our communities today, the things that are going on in our community, you have single-parent households, you have robbing and stealing and killing. So are those good things or are those bad things?
No, those definitely.
You would look at that as a curse though, right?
Correct.
Right. So we're about to read some of these curses that God told us that if we did not keep his law, statutes, and commandments, that bad things were going to happen to us. Now, these bad things, we are only going to be able to identify with a certain group of people. Everybody don't fit these curses. And we're going to show you. Read on.
Verse 16. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So what group of people are cursed in the city?
Definitely our people.
Our people. So every city you go to, there's a hood, there's a ghetto, there's a slum, right? And what's happening in those cities?
The things you just named, people getting killed, getting robbed, single parent homes, you know, male and female, because a lot of women not taking care of their children and a lot of men not taking care of their children. Absolutely. So cursed in the city and cursed in the field. So at what point in time were we cursed in the field? I want you to take a look at this. Cursed in the field. We were forced to do what? And not just black people, because guess what? Native American Indians, they went through slavery before we did. Right? So it says cursed in the field. So we were forced to pick tobacco, cotton, sugar cane, right? So that's what it means, cursed in the field. And then when you fast forward to today, cursed in the job field, because guess what? When you go to work, who do you have to work for? 9 times out of 10, you have to work for the same people that brought you over here on those cargo slave ships, right? Correct. So it says that we will be cursed in the city and cursed in the field, right? Now, what's going on in Flint, Michigan today? I know for sure it's not, everything's not up to date. Like they got bad water. And if you drive up there and you look around, it's not like a good visual.
Right, it's not. So you will consider that a curse, right? Yeah. Because guess what? If you examine, there's not a lot of places that have bad water in different neighborhoods. And when I say different neighborhoods, I'm talking about the Caucasian neighborhoods, right?
For sure.
So if anything happened to their water, they would be in an uproar, and it would get fixed immediately. But it's been over 5 years.
Yeah.
It's been over 5 years since Flint, Michigan had clean water. So that's a curse. Curse in the city, curse in the field. Jump over to verse 32.
Verse 32, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
When did that happen? Our sons and daughters given to another people.
I'm not sure.
So during slavery, even we can go back to the Native Americans. Their children, they were given to boarding schools. And I want to say, just as of recent, I want to say within the past 2 weeks in Canada, they uncovered a mass burial ground that was behind a church of Native American children that were attending the boarding schools that they killed and nobody told them about.
A mass grave holding the remains of 215 indigenous children has been found on the grounds of an old residential school in Kamloops. The school was founded in 1890 by the Roman Catholic Church to force indigenous children to assimilate into Canadian society. Previous investigations revealed horrific physical abuse, rape, malnutrition, and other atrocities suffered by many of the 150,000 children who attended those schools.
So the dead bodies of our people are still being uncovered. The atrocities that go on, or that went on back then, are still actually going on today, because the so-called Mexicans, right? When they come across the border, what happens to the children? Yeah, have you heard about the camps that they have kids in?
Yeah, they put them in the camp.
Right, it's the same thing. They're taking our children away till this day. So these curses only apply to the people that are on the sign.
That's right.
Right, but read on.
And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing.
I want you to read from the top again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand.
Have you ever seen Roots or 12 Years as a Slave? What happened to the woman in 12 Years as a Slave when they took her children? If you remember, she was crying, and she was always crying. And Solomon, he was like, woman, stop crying. And she was like, you ain't never had your kids taken, da 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 da. She kept crying. We're reading about that specific incident in the Bible. Did you know that was in the Bible? Read it.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
And we didn't have no might, no economic might, no physical might. We didn't have no armies to be able to get our children back. Once our children were taken away from us and sold, 9 times out of 10, we never saw them again.
Right.
But guess what? Fast forward to today. It's a government program called CPS, Child Protective Services. What happens if someone calls CPS on you and accuse you of doing something to your children?
They investigate, and if it comes to be true, then they take them and place them with another family until, I guess, you get the stuff together.
Right, but even if it's not true, while they are investigating, they can still come and take your children.
That's right.
And you have to fight in court to get your children back.
Right.
And all it takes is one accusation, and they will be knocking on your door. So it holds true till today. Jump down to verse 37.
Verse 37, thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee.
So it says that we will become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword. A proverb is like a wise saying. If you want to hide anything from a nigga, where you put it?
In a book.
In a book. How come you know that?
Because it's a very popular saying.
Right, it's a proverb that only fits our people, right? So this is what God is saying. He says that we would become that, a wise saying that it would make us look like an astonishment, like all black people like chicken and watermelon, right? Is that true? Everybody eats chicken, but guess what? They only associate that with us, right? Read on.
And a byword, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and And a byword.
And a byword. A byword is anything outside of what God calls it. So
Right.
a byword would be, so examine the word by. By means two, right? So byword meaning you would be called two words. African American.
That's right.
Or Native American.
Right.
Right? So God is telling us that these curses only apply to one group of people.
That's right.
And that applies to those people that are on those signs, right? So another byword would be what? Coon, nigga, porch monkey, spick. Give me some more. Wet black. Yeah. All these different names apply to these group of people.
That's right.
And anywhere you go in the world, say for example you go to Russia, say for example you go to Germany.
Right.
Even in these different countries, they have bywords for our people.
Right.
Believe it or not, the Arabs, they call us what is it? Abdi, which means slave. Yes. So all of the other nations, they have these bywords towards us, and we call ourselves these bywords as well.
Right.
But guess what? That's a curse that God placed upon us.
Right.
Now, get me verse 45.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
So meaning, no matter where you go, these curses are going to follow you. You can go to Canada, you can go to Jamaica, anywhere you go, these curses are going to follow you until you are destroyed. Meaning not physically destroyed, but guess what? Mentally destroyed. Because guess what? Our people, do you think that our people are mentally destroyed today? Yes. Why? Because of the atrocities that happened to us during slavery that carried over. And a lot of times people say that slavery was a long time ago, but guess what? It wasn't that long ago.
And it was still in slavery today.
Exactly. We are still, since you're the spirit, hold that and get me Baruch chapter 3. Is that what I want? 3 and 8? Right, so watch this, sis, because you hit the nail right on the head. You said that we are still in slavery today. Because guess what? Do we own anything as a people?
Even if you think you own something, it can get snatched away from you. You got to pay taxes on it. Because I own my house and they will take it in a second. You don't pay your bill, then it's gone.
Absolutely.
So it's like, really, I don't own the soil that this house stands on. I really don't own anything. It's just mind tricking.
Absolutely. But watch what the Bible says. Read that.
Baruch chapter 3 verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
So he said that we will be subject to payments. Those payments are taxes. Those payments are water bills.
Right.
Because guess what? Water is a natural resource, right?
Right.
And even in some parts of the country, if you catch rainwater, you will be fine.
That's right.
Yes. If you try to catch rainwater and try to water your garden and plants, you can be fine in certain parts of the country. But water is a natural resource. But guess what? Michigan, we're surrounded by what? 3 parts is surrounded by water, fresh water at that. But we have to pay for it. Now, the so-called Native American Indians, did they have to pay for water when they were living on this? No, why? Because water was free. Everybody enjoyed it. But guess what? Let you not pay your water bill. What's going to happen?
It's going to get turned off.
It's going to get turned off. You ain't taking no showers. You ain't boiling no eggs. Nothing, right? So he says that we will be subject to payments. And to this day, we're subject to payments.
That's right.
Even when you go to work and you get your check, they're taking out what? Taxes, right? You got FICA, you got FICA, Social Security, state, city.
Yeah, you got to pay all these different people.
So, because we disobeyed God and we broke God's law, statutes, and commandments, this is the condition that we're in.
We used to scream Black Power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.